Hello students, today we will start our last chapter, Applet. These are the contents of Applet: Applet Lifecycle, Applet Viewer Tools, then Applet HTML tags, passing parameter to Applet, and last is repent and update method. Then first is what is meant by applet, then applet introductions. Java can be used to create two types of the programs, that means applications and applets. An application is a program that runs on the standalone computer on a local network. Here the applet is a program designed to transmitted over the internet and executed by the Java compatible web browsers. Java applet is a small dynamic Java program and that can be transferred via the internet or run by the Java compatible web browser. Here the all applet import the applet packages. Then what is meant by applet? One of the main features of the Java is the applet, and applet are the dynamic and interactive programs. Applets are usually small in the size and facilitate event-driven applications, and that can be transported over the web. Applet is actually a tiny Java programs and dynamically downloaded across the network like images, sound file, video clip, etc. The applet is a program that can be react to use input and dynamically changes. All the applet must import java.applet package, and applet are executed by either web browser or applet viewer. The following are the two issues with Java applet. First one is the portability. Portability is defined as the applet's ability to run on the different computers and operating system. And second issue is security. Java resolve the security issues by restricting applets to Java executions environments and preventing access to the system resources. Applets are the event driven program, and applet waits until an event occurs. Here the events are generated by the user's action on applet using the mouse and the keyboard, and various AWT control such as the push buttons. The AWT notifies the applet about an event by calling the event handler that has been provided by the applet, and applet taking appropriate actions controls quickly return to the AWT. Then how applet differs from the applications? As we know, the applets and standalone applications are the Java programs. There are significant differences between them. Applets are not fully features applications program. Here these are the Java applications and applets. Java applications contains a main method, but in applet does not contain main method. Then in Java application does not requires internet connection to execute. It requires the internet connection to execute. Then it is the standalone application. Applet is the part of web page. Then Java applications can be run without a browser, but applet requires a Java compatible browser. Then Java applications uses stream IO classes, but applet uses the GUI interfaces which is provided by the AWT or Swing. Then Java applications entry point is main method, but the applet entry point is init method. Then Java application generally used for console program, but the application applet generally used for the graphical user interfaces. Then local and remote applets. We can embed applets into the web pages into the following two ways. We can write our own applet and embed them into the web pages. And second way is we can download an applet from the remote computer system and then embed into the web pages. Then we will see the first type is local applet. An applet which is developed locally and stored in the local system is known as the local applet. Then when web pages is trying to fill a local applet, the web pages does not need to use the internet for this reason, and the local system does not require the internet connection. Local system simply searches the directories in the local system. Then second is the remote applet. It is an applet which is developed by someone else and stored on the remote computer connected on the internet. When our system is connected to the internet, we can download the remote applet onto our system via the internet and run it. For local and load remote applet, we must know the applet address on the web, and this address is known as the URL, that means Uniform Resource Locator. Then advantages and disadvantages of applets. Advantages: applets are the cross platform and can run on the Windows, Mac OS and Linux platform. Then second is the applets are supported by the most of the web browser. Third is applets can work all the version of the Java plugin, and applets are catch in most web browser, so we will be quick to load when returning to the web page. User can also full access to the machine if user allows. Then it works at client side, so less response, and it is secure. Then disadvantages of applets: Java plugin is required, very difficult to design good interfaces to the user, and if the applet is not catch in web browser, then it will take some times to load. And it is also difficult to design and build a good user interface in applet compared to the HTML technologies. Then next topic is applet lifecycle. Here the applet can overload a set of methods from the base class methods. Then base class applet is used to provide the mechanism to control the execution of the applet. Applet run in the browser, and its lifecycle methods are called by JVM, Java Virtual Machine, when it is loaded and destroyed. Here there are the lifecycle methods in the applets: init, start, stop and destroy. Here the first methods, the init. This method is called to initialize an applet. Then second is the start. This method is called after the initialization of the applet. Third is the stop. This method can called multiple times in the life cycle of an applet. And last one is the destroy. As per name, these methods is called only once in the life cycle of the applet when applet is destroyed. Then here the first step is born, that means begin, load the applet. Then this is also init is called as the initialization. They can then start and running. It also this is the displaying. We can use the paint method. Then start, stop. Here the ideal, that means stop, and last is the destroyed, that means the dead and end of the exit from the browsers. Then first method is init method. Applet enters the initialization state when it is the first loaded. Then this is achieved by calling the init method of the applet class. Applet is the born. Then init method is basically called to read the param tag in the HTML file. At the stage, we may do the following if required: create object needed by the applet, then set up the initial values. Third is the load image or font, and fourth is set up colors. The initialization occurs only once in the applet lifecycle, and here the syntax for init method: public void init and then statement. Write the statement. Then second step is start method. The start method of an applet is called after the initialization method init, that means initialization. Applet enters the running state when the system calls start method of applet class, and this occurs automatically after the applet is initialized. Starting can also occur if the applet is already in stop, that means ideal state. Then here the syntax for start method: void, public void start, and then statements. Then third method is stop method. The stop method can be called multiple times in the life cycle of applet, like the start method. Applet becomes ideal when it is stopped from running, and stopping occurs automatically when we leave the page containing current running applet. When we also do so by calling the stop method explicitly, if we use a thread to run the applet, then we must use stop method to terminate the thread. That terminate the thread, that means the end of the methods. Then we can achieve this by overriding the stop methods, and here the syntax for stop methods, public, void, stop, and then here the statements. Then last step is destroy method. An applet is said to be dead when it is removed from the memory, and this occurs automatically by invoking the destroy method when we quit the browser. Like the initialization, destroying stage occurs only once in the applet lifecycle, and if the applet has created any resources like thread, we may override the destroy methods to clean up these resources. Then display the state, that means paint method. The applet is said to be in the display state when the paint method is called, and the method can be used to when we want to display the output in the screen. Then these methods can be called any number of times. A paint method is must in all the applet when we want to draw something on the applet window, and paint method take graphics object as an argument. And here the syntax for paint method, public void paint graphics g, and then statement. Then example for applet lifecycle. Here import two packages, awt and applet. Then class, here the class name is myApplet, extend to the applet class. Then first step is initialization, that means init method, public void init. Suppose here messages applet is initialized. Then second method is start method. Here just we take the message applet execution started. Then third is the stop. Then here display the message applet execution stop. Then last is the paint method to display the graphics. Here the graphics as arguments, and here suppose we take the message painting. And last method is the destroy method to release the memory. Here suppose applet is destroyed, and then when we run this program, then we will get the output. Here the first is applet initialized, then applet execution started, then painting, and applet execution stop, and last is applet is destroyed.